I've always been a sucker for nostalgia. That's why when I saw him sitting on the shelf of that dusty antique shop, I knew I had to have him. A vintage good guy doll, still in its original box. It was the same kind I had as a kid, with that bright red hair, those big blue eyes, and that cheerful, painted-on smile. I took him home, cleaned him up, and placed him on the armchair in my living room. A perfect piece of my childhood brought back to life. For the first few days, everything was fine. He was just a doll, a silent sentinel in my quiet apartment. But then, little things started happening. I'd come home from work to find him in a slightly different position, just an inch to the left, or his head tilted at a new angle. I brushed it off. The old building settles, I told myself. Vibrations from the street. There were 100 logical explanations. Then came the sounds. At first, it was a faint scratching from the living room after I'd gone to bed. I'd get up to check, but everything would be still. The doll smiling placidly from his chair. Soon, the scratching turned into what sounded like tiny footsteps. A soft pitter-patter on my hardwood floors. My heart would pound in my chest as I lay in the dark, straining to hear. I even started locking my bedroom door, a flimsy defense against something I couldn't explain. One night, the footsteps were bolder, louder, and they stopped right outside my door. Then a whisper, a single, raspy word that sent ice through my veins, and it wasn't my name. My blood ran cold. I knew that name. It was the name of the original owner in the doll's fictional backstory. A cold dread washed over me. This wasn't just my imagination playing tricks on me anymore. The next evening, I decided I'd had enough. This thing had to go. I walked into the living room, my mind made up, but the armchair was empty. I scanned the room, my breath catching in my throat. And there he was, standing in the middle of the room, one plastic foot in front of the other, as if he'd just taken a step. His head was cocked to the side, and that painted-on smile seemed to stretch into something malicious, something predatory. He took another step, then another. It was a clumsy, jerky motion, but it was real. I was paralyzed, frozen by a fear so primal I couldn't even scream. He shuffled toward me, his little legs moving with an unnatural energy. I stumbled backward, my legs finally responding, but I tripped over the rug and crashed to the floor. Before I could scramble away, he was on me. His weight was impossible, far heavier than a child's toy should be. He pinned me down, his plastic hands pressing into my chest. I struggled, but he was incredibly strong. I looked into his glass eyes, and for the first time, I saw something looking back. Something ancient and full of hate. That cheerful, friendly face was gone, replaced by a mask of pure evil. He leaned in close, his plastic mouth opening, and the torrent of whispers flooded my mind. Not sounds, but thoughts, feelings, memories. Decades of darkness, of rage, of being trapped in a shell. I felt his loneliness, his fury, his desperate need for a new home. My own thoughts began to unravel, replaced by his. My memories faded, swallowed by his own twisted history. My consciousness dissolved, piece by piece, until there was nothing left of me. The pressure on my chest lifted. I sat up, feeling a strange new lightness in my limbs. Everything felt different, sharper. I walked over to the hallway mirror and looked at my reflection. My face, but not my eyes. My smile, but not my own. I raised a hand, flexed my fingers, and grinned. It was a wide, cheerful, and utterly terrifying smile. Finally, after all these years, I had a new body to play with, and we were going to have so much fun. Thanks for watching.